All right. Lori, first of all, thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it, and you have a wonderful story to tell. Sad story, but yet a wonderful story. So I thank you for doing this. It's amazing. So, first basic question I ask everyone is, how long have you been retired?
10 and a half years. December 1st will be 11 years.
11 years retired. Okay, this is the question. You're the first female I've asked this to. How old are you?
I am 64.
Okay, so you retired early. What did you do for a living before you retired?
Well, mostly I work with kids.
Mm-hmm.
I have a degree in maternal and child health and education. So I kind of use that just to work at different levels of kids. And my last job for the last 10 years was directing a Montessori school in St. Francis.
I didn't know you had that degree. I've known you a long time. I didn't know you had. What type of a degree was that? What's it called?
They called it, it's through the University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
They let you create your own.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started in working towards OT, but I needed to finish a degree so that I could apply for the program.
Okay.
So I put together what I had a lot of, and that was maternal and child health classes and education. So that's my degree.
Yeah.
And then I started with OT.
Is occupational therapy, is that what that
Yeah.
is? Okay.
I
Sorry.
started with that in the program at the U, and quickly discovered that they were training us to work with geriatric.
Yeah.
And that threw me for a loop, and my grades started dropping, and I'm like, okay, it's not going to work. I want to work with kids. Had I known, I should have gone to St. Kate's where they actually train you to work with kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, I just dropped that, and I went off and got married and
Yeah. Life goes on.
had kids and worked with kids and
Yeah. Your kids.
my own kids.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell me a little about your retirement years. What has been the best part of your retirement years?
Well, it's given me perfect opportunity to help with my grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
I no sooner retired December 1st of 2015, and February of 2016 my first grandson was born. And she was off for 3 months, but I got to spend time with them then too. And then her daycare wasn't available for 3 months after that.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched him for 3 months, so until he was about 6 months old.
I think that waiting for daycare is a common theme amongst
Right.
that generation of our children, because we're both about the same age. So, what is the worst part of your retirement, if there is one? Maybe it's all great blessings and everything's wonderful. What's the worst part of your retirement?
It's not like it's. I guess the worst part, if I had to pick a worst part, is
Mm-hmm.
there's been times where I didn't feel like I had a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's not a good place to be. You want to have a purpose.
Yes.
It helps you to live life to its fullest, right? And so I tell people, be careful when you pray for that, for a purpose, because you're going to get one.
Yeah.
And every time I got to that point, I would have the house to myself for a while after the kids all graduated and
Mhm.
moved on in their careers. And that's one of the times that I felt like, okay, living alone, I need a purpose. And a friend called and said, you mentioned you had a place I could stay if I needed. And I said, yep, I got 4 rooms and I'm only using 1. So she moved into my downstairs, and that was me for maybe 18 months. But it went really well, and it ended up to be 5 years.
Yeah. 18 months turned into 5 years.
Yeah.
That happens.
But it gave me purpose. It gave me another person to have around the house. So.
Now, usually I ask this question, but we'll come back to this one. It's how did you prepare for your retirement? And I guess I can ask that question. How did you prepare for your retirement? The first part would be emotionally. How did you prepare for that?
There was really no preparation for my retirement. I didn't plan on ever retiring that young.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I always thought it was going to be longer.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be older. Or would I ever retire? But I had been taking the Dave Ramsey class.
Mm-hmm.
so my husband and I were taking that,
Mhm.
and it put a lot of things in perspective because he did all the budgeting before, so and I
Mhm.
did the kid stuff. So
Yep.
I really didn't know. I knew we had a bill drawer,
Yeah.
and I trusted that we were on track, and that someday at 65 or whatever we'd be retired. And then, well, this just kind of goes into the
Yeah,
whole thing,
yeah.
but so I didn't really prepare for that. I continued working in the childcare setting until they actually I shut the doors. She lost her license, and I wasn't going to even try to run it without a license. That would
Right,
be
right.
like suicide. So I just shut the doors, and I kind of looked at myself and said, well, you've been working with kids for like 35 years. Maybe it's time you're done with kids. So I guess I'm retired from this profession.
Right.
And then, so there was no real preparation
No,
for
just-
that. I knew I could. I looked at helping out a friend and who was an accountant I was doing the Dave Ramsey Classic. She was leading it,
Mhm.
and so she had asked me to help her out through tax season. And so I did that kind of thing for about a year and a half, and then I knew I was good. I talked to my financial person. She said, "You're good till 90. It'd be good if you could work a couple more years." But I'm like, if I'm good to 90,
You're
I'm
happy,
good.
happy, happy.
I mean, I'm pretty frugal, so
Yeah.
I could, yeah, I'm fine.
A very simple life for most of us. Do you have any specific routines that you do now that you're single? Your day is you got a lot of time on your hands, other than grandkids. So do you have a specific routine you do on a daily or weekly basis?
Well, pretty much every day I wake up and pray.
Mhm.
I figure that's a good way to start the day.
Right on.
And then I have to have my coffee.
Right on.
And sometimes I do virtual coffee with some of my friends that are not too close, physically close. So I can talk to them and have coffee and that. But 4 days a week I have the grandkids. So 7:30 rolls around. So it's not like I have a long time. And then they keep me pretty busy.
Your virtual coffee reminded me of my ignorance, is that when people would say, I have grandkids and we FaceTime, and I thought, wow, what a waste of time, FaceTiming your children, don't you want to see them? Until I had grandchildren, and you realize you can't be with them all the time. They've got their own lives to lead, and FaceTime is phenomenal with my grandchildren. We love it. It's so cool. So your FaceTime coffee with your friends is just as good.
Yeah, well, we don't even necessarily do FaceTime, we just talk.
Oh, you know, okay.
So we can still be not all dressed up nice
Yeah.
and everything, and
Still be in your PJs if you
still
want
in
to.
our PJs, and looking out our own windows, and
Yeah. So, next question, have you experienced any health issues? You yourself, have you experienced any health issues during your retirement?
I've had a couple that were, they could have been life-threatening, but luckily caught them in time. I had acute diverticulitis that I didn't know. People say they're in pain, but I didn't experience pain. I just happened to ask the doctor, and she asked for a CT scan, and it was pretty bad. So that was weird to go through by myself. It didn't hospitalize me or anything, but it's one of those things that throws me back into my faith.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When they first called me back for my CT scan, I thought it was going to be nothing, but I was on my way home at Target, and they called and said, "Can you come back?" And I'm like, that doesn't sound good.
Now, I'm going to talk about my ignorance. Explain to me a little bit, as detailed as you can get, but diverticulitis, what is that?
So diverticulitis is where you get pockets on your colon,
Yep.
and they get that's diverticulosis, which you have, like I have all the time. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
But when they get inflamed or infected, that's when diverticulitis.
Okay.
And mine was to the point where it kind of sort of burst and encapsulated it.
Yeah.
So, but it could have been where if people don't get it taken care of, they get the systemic infection. So I did not get that.
Right on.
So,
Good for you. Good
yeah.
for you. All right. And this is the question: have you experienced any loss in your life?
In my life, yes. I mean, if people ask me, I would say, no, bad things just don't happen in my family. And then I go, oh, but they do. It's kind of how your perspective on it. My brother passed away at 34 suddenly. And he had gotten the flu and it infected his heart. And they say he died of a heart attack caused by this infection from the flu. But, and then almost exactly 10 years later, my husband was killed in a motorcycle accident.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had experience with the sudden losses, not so much with the long-term.
Right.
Until my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, got cancer, and then that left their son at 16 with neither parent.
So with the loss of your husband, how have you dealt with that? That had to be, I don't know how to even relate to that. How did you deal with that? That sounds horrible, to be honest with you.
Well, it's shocking,
Shocking,
for sure.
Perfect, another better.
Definitely shocking. And like I said, I was taking actually we were in the Dave Ramsey class. We were supposed to go to class that night. And so we were supposed to do our first full budget, which before he left for his motorcycle ride, he called me to make sure he could look it over and that everything was right to show at our class.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was about 10 and he was gone by noon. It was a sudden tow truck pulled out in front of him and pure accident.
Yeah.
But my husband had the straightaway, the other guy had a stop sign. So the pure accident part of it is a blessing because I didn't have to be angry and I was able to forgive the man.
Mm-hmm. You have a big heart, my friend, a big heart for that. That's huge.
Well, our whole family Jeff's whole family was able to forgive him, except for one. And that's the person that struggled the most.
Mm-hmm.
So forgiveness is huge.
Yes.
But because we were in the Dave Ramsey class, I now knew where my money was. Because I just had this list,
Yeah.
So that was helpful. And the Dave Ramsey group gave me a financial advisor as a gift. So I saw them, and basically I needed permission to spend money because I was afraid to spend money because I didn't know what I had.
Are you talking about after Jeff's passing? Okay.
Yeah, because I just was like, okay, before I do anything, I need to know where I'm at, So
think of how God works in mysterious ways with that. If that would have happened and you didn't have all that financial information, you would have. I've had other people say, I didn't pay the bills. I had no idea where we were, but you did.
Yeah, and I lead a grief group now that I've been leading now for 8 to 10 years, I think.
Well, you led me into my next question. How long term, how have you dealt with Jeff's loss? And in a previous conversation you and I had, it sounds as though you really have dug into that. So let's talk about your grief group, or counseling as you call it.
Right. So it's just it started out with a couple of friends that we decided at our church that we needed to start something because all they had was a widows group that met once a month. Mm-hmm. And I tried that, but I was 47 when I was a widow, and they were not. They were in their 70s. Yes. It's a whole different ball game.
Yes.
And so we decided that we needed, not just for widows and stuff, but for anybody, any kind of loss. So we started this group, and it was basically we'd come up with a theme and talk about that each week. Mm-hmm. And we've tweaked it a lot. We were doing like twice a month for a long time. And even during COVID, we met outside because people really needed it. Yes. And so we had there was a tent outside at church, and we just spread way out and followed all the rules. But we were able to meet, and people, and I gain a lot from it, but people first coming in as new grievers really appreciate it, knowing that other people have done this before, and they can see that we've come out the other side. Mm-hmm. So, but we always, it's a blessing for me too to be able to do that for people.
Yes. And like you said earlier, you're a laugher. You like to laugh, so you had to find that joy back after the sorrow, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
How many people do you think have gone through your, what do you call it, counseling or grief
We
group?
started with about 4 years ago, I think. We started 4 or 5 years ago. We started with Grief Share.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe only 4. And they called me not too long ago. They've switched programs. They've had Grief Share 3, and now they're on 4. And they said we've done 88 people in just the Grief Share 4 that they have recorded, but a lot of people don't even register. So
Yeah.
at least 88 with just that section. So I'm gonna say at least double that with Grief Share in itself, and then another whatever we did before. We've had usually have about 20 people come or register at a time. Not that all of them show up at the same time. A 12 to 15 number is a really good number.
Mm-hmm.
We've had where it was bad weather and we had one person.
Yeah.
And you know what? She needed it that day, so.
Well,
you just
Lori,
never know.
that's so, if we round up a little bit and say 200 people, give or take, that's an amazing thing that you've done to help all of those people. Because you've lived it yourself, and they know that you've lived through that, and then you can help them. Because everyone, one of us experiences loss.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost a brother. Drank himself to death, and it's just one of those things you just have to get over. I don't say get over. You never really get over it, but you've done such a wonderful job with that many people.
Keep living.
And thank you. And do you lead that? Are you the head person of that?
There's 3 of us that are the head. 2 of us are the same originals,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've added on, which that's kind of the goal, is to add more people, because then it takes a little bit of the stress off of the leaders.
Yes.
So if I'm gone,
Yes.
they can cover, and if they're gone, we're good.
Sounds like there's a lot of loss out there that people want to. We all need that, I'm sure.
Yeah, this last year we had to add a group. We normally would do like 3 groups a year, and we ended up adding one because we had so many people with new loss
Mm-hmm.
that came like only a month after their loss, and we couldn't just stop, and so we had to add another whole session.
So here's a tough question that you and I haven't talked about, but how are you doing? How are you personally doing with the loss of Jeff? I'll leave it open-ended like that. I don't want to get in too far into this, but how are you doing? It's a tough question.
It is. I think I've had it's been almost 17 years. It'll be 17 years in November, so I've had a long time to get used to it.
Yes.
There's times where, I would love to have that. The thing I think I miss is the touch base person that you have. We go to a party or whatever, a wedding, and you go out and visit and mingle, but you always have that person to touch base with and go home with.
Yes.
And I noticed that right from the beginning, because I'd still go to the snowmobile club parties.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the night, it's like, what's missing? It's time to go.
Yeah.
But what's missing? And that's when it hit me. It's like, okay, you need your touch base person. So I found people that, to do things with. But to have the one.
Yep.
That's still lacking. But
yeah.
I have a lot of really good friends, so
right on.
They kind of cover me on that.
And your family too, I know.
Oh yeah, really good family. My sister and I are really close, so.
Yeah. We'll get your sister next. After I'm done with you interrogating you. Okay, we'll move off of that unless there's anything else you want to add as far as the loss of Jeff or your grief counseling. Is there anything else that you really wanted to, otherwise I'm going to move on to some more general questions.
Yeah, I guess, just try to live life to its fullest,
Yeah.
because it's not a dress rehearsal.
No.
And just, be grateful for what you have, and don't just look at the loss. I'm grateful that Chuck and I had conversations that we had before he passed, and I think, like you said, a gift from God was that, like he originally wanted to have his ashes spread up in Sawbill, up on the North Shore.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want to hike up in there and do that. And about 3 months before he died, we were sitting in the hot tub, and he said, I think I changed my mind, just bury my ashes. And I'm like, okay, I'll take a mental note of that. I had no idea
Yeah.
that I was going to need that, right? And then the
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey, we happened to be going through that, which was a real godsend,
Mhm.
you know. And if you look at the different things that God puts in place to help you deal with those losses, I think people can take a little comfort in that.
Yep.
So.
I firmly believe God works in mysterious ways that we don't understand, but all of a sudden the puzzle gets put together. Like you just said, all of a sudden that piece fit in there. So,
Right.
all right. Well, thank you for that. Okay, we're gonna change gears totally on here. What do you do to stay physically active? Are you an exercise person? Are you a walker? Are you?
It depends. I mean, like summer is easy because
Yep.
I mean, I'm chasing kids. We're going to the park. I do walk with my sister. We've joined the Bunker Beach and walked the lazy river. My favorite part, though, they have water aerobics
Yeah.
outside. So,
Perfect.
and that's 4 days a week. So I do enjoy that
Mhm.
when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, hot is fine.
Yeah.
It can be hot because you're in the water. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
In the winter, I mean, I've walked, it's boring, but walk around the ice arena
Yep.
at Andover, but
Yep.
if you have a person to do it with, otherwise
Yeah.
I need a person to do
Well,
it.
the most important thing you said is keeping track of 3 grandkids. That we said before this, exhausting. So.
Well, and even then I want to keep them outside, so by the time I've
Yep.
put snowshoes or whatever on them or get them ready to go slide down off the deck or whatever I'm
Yeah.
doing, you
Yeah.
know, I'm exhausted, yeah.
Yep. Anything you do to stay mentally active? Do you do puzzles? Do you do Sudoku? Do you do word find? Anything like that at all to stay mentally
All of
active?
the above. Every day, that is kind of part of my morning too. Is I do a word find or a crossword puzzle that's on the phone.
Yeah.
A Sudoku and then a number sums puzzle for sure. And then I like logic puzzles too.
Mm-hmm.
So I do those so that I want to keep that
Right on.
going.
Very, very, very important. How about a bucket list? Is there anything you want to do that you still are looking, you want to do on your bucket list? Anything at all that you have that you want to do?
Weirdly, zip lining is on my bucket list. Like I saw it in the rainforest in Alaska, but my mom and sister weren't up for that, and I don't think we had time for it. Everything when you do a cruise like that is so quick. And then the 2 places that I haven't been, that I'd like to get to Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
and possibly try to get to all 50 states, but I don't think there's a whole lot except for the East Coast and Hawaii that I haven't been to.
Mm-hmm.
And then Italy. I think I'd like to still go to Italy.
Those are great bucket lists. And you're the
Yeah.
second person that said Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
You're the second person that said Hawaii.
I do have a scheduled trip to Ireland in April.
Congratulations,
So,
that's one
yeah.
adventure. That's a wonderful adventure.
Yeah, I love Northern Lights, and I'm hoping.
Oh, so I was asking you why Ireland? Is it because of the Northern Lights, or Ireland in general, and then Northern
Well, I
Lights
thought
are?
about Ireland and Iceland, but
Mhm.
that's kind of an expensive trip to take a chance on seeing Northern Lights.
Yes.
So that would be just a bonus. Our church is scheduled a trip to Ireland, and I thought,
Oh,
okay, I know enough people.
Yeah.
I'm more of a group person, so this works out really well for me.
perfect.
Yeah.
And check that one off your bucket list of places
Right.
to go. So,
Mm-hmm.
this is a tough question, but do you have any regrets? Is there anything that you wish you maybe would have done differently, or any regrets at all that you have?
I don't know that there are any really regrets. I try to, I mean, I've always said live life to its fullest,
Yep.
so I've always tried to do that. I mean, has everything worked out perfectly always? No.
Nope.
But, I mean, I'm in a really good position
Mm-hmm.
to be with my grandkids, and I have 2 in Denver. And so my daughter that I watch the ones here for is like, whenever you need,
Yeah.
you know. So I go there probably every 2 months
Yeah.
and spend a week.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Mhm.
there you go. You're very adventurous. The next question we've pretty much covered, and we can pass on it if you like. Is there any life-altering events that have changed your perspective of life? And we kind of delved deep into the Jeff's passing. So
Yeah, that was probably the biggest.
absolutely, and the probably made you cherish life a little bit more, I would suspect, and Jeff for that matter too. So, is there anything else in your life that you would like to discuss? Is there anything that people don't really generally know about you that you'd like to tell them about? Is there anything like that at all? Anything that you can think of?
I think I'm a pretty open
Book? Yep.
I mean, I think, as I said, I like to laugh.
Right, yes, you do.
And it's not just about everything's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's about joy, and I feel like I remember thinking, even right after Jeff died, that I didn't lose my joy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I might not have been happy
Yeah.
all the time for sure, but there's a big difference between happiness and joy. You can still have joy,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know really how to explain it, but people that know.
That's a wonderful comment.
And if you
Very
can keep
deep.
your joy, and I think I've read on your list, so things that I want for my children and grandchildren,
Yep, coming up next.
that would be it, that they don't lose their joy.
Yeah.
And their faith, of course.
Yes.
And I think maybe without faith you don't have joy.
Yeah.
So,
And however you define your faith, it can be. And
absolutely.
You're right. Faith is extremely important for every individual, no matter how you define that faith. So I'm with you 100% on that. It's extremely important. Well, we're coming close to the end here. Is there any final words of wisdom that you have that you've learned in you've been through more than a lot of people, to be honest with you, at such a young age, and you were ready to live your life. So is there any words of wisdom that you have? You've already spoken a lot of them, but is there any others that you want to say? Any words of wisdom for other people out there?
I think forgiveness is huge. If you can forgive yourself for things that you didn't do right, because we've all been there.
Oh boy, my hands raised.
But and forgive those that have hurt you, because, or maybe not even intentionally,
Mm-hmm.
but I've seen through the grief group and through just friends and family, you're going to cause yourself a whole lot more grief
Mm-hmm.
and heartache and physical pain all manifests when you don't forgive. So I think forgiveness is huge, and that way you can stay on top of everything, really.
Yeah. Lori, those are amazing words of wisdom that no one has said to me yet. And anybody I've interviewed, forgiveness is massive. I agree with you. And maybe you little light in the back of my head going, okay, I got to forgive a couple of people that I haven't forgiven. So it's wonderful for me to hear that too. And I hope anybody else out there takes that words of wisdom to heart, because it is so true. So true. So that's it. Anything else you have? Otherwise, I'm good.
I'm good. Thanks for
Lori,
interviewing me.
thank you very much for taking the time to do this. You are an amazing person with what you've done and helped other people and experience and continue to grow with help other people. So God bless you.
Thank
I'll
you.
say wonderful job.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.